Start today with a Zen Koan. And a koan is a little story, or it's usually a story, and then it has some kind of implications based on Buddhism or Zen Buddhism relating to life. And what's interesting is that koans can have lots of different interpretations. So I'm going to interpret one today, but there's other people who are going to look at it in an entirely different way and interpret it differently. So that's good to know. So this story, some of you might have heard it because I have used it before in class. But this koan is about a man who is in a forest and he's lost. So the man is lost in this forest and he's trying to work out, how to get out of the forest. And then as he's doing so, he sees a tiger. So this is probably not set in the US or Puerto Rico or England, wherever. Okay, but he sees a tiger in the story. And so he obviously freezes for a second and panics. And then he really kind of tries to get away and he runs away. And he gets to a precipice. And so he looks down and it looks kind of scary down there. And he looks up and it's like, oh, what am I going to do? But he sees a vine coming down from above. And so he grabs the vine because he looks back and there's a tiger there following him quite closely. And he starts to climb up this vine. And he's going up. And he's like, oh my gosh, obviously stressed, climbing up the vine. And so he's like, okay, this looks like I might have a way of escaping. But then he looks up and he sees a couple of mice that are nibbling at the vine that he's holding. So he looks down and there's tiger down there and another tiger has come to follow. So there's a couple of tigers beneath him and he looks up and there's these mice nibbling at this vine that he's hanging from. So it's like, ah. And then he looks to his side and there's kind of a green patch and he sees a red strawberry just there. So he plucks it and he eats it and enjoys the sweetness. So as I said, that story can be interpreted lots of ways, but one of the ways it can be interpreted is that life is really super stressful, right? There's lots of things that happen in life. It could be COVID, it could be a hurricane, there's all sorts of things, especially now, that are really challenging in life, right? And that we cannot choose what happens many times in our lives, right? We have no choice about COVID, whether COVID came or not. That was out of our control. But how we respond to those moments of stress are things that that's something we can control. So we can't control what happened in the past. We can become anxious about the future, right? There's those mice are gnawing at this vine. So we could panic about that and go, oh my gosh, I'm done for, right? Or we can enjoy the moments, the small, sweet moments along the way. And so I think that this story, this koan, is trying to get us to focus on the present, enjoy the sweet moments along the way, and really consider how we respond to the challenges of life. So there we go, that's the koan, and you can interpret it in any way you like. It might be different. So for anyone who's just joined, you're going to need a strap of some kind. So you might not have a strap in your house. You can always grab onto a sweatshirt, a scarf, something like that. Just something that you can use around your leg, like a strap. And we're going to start by lying down on the ground. So you're going to just find a comfortable way to lie. You might bend your knees a little bit here and just really protecting your lower back. And just press your shoulders here into the ground. You can close your eyes and really just notice your connection here. So you're letting go of what has happened before class. Allow that just to dissipate. That already happened. You cannot change that. But you can decide not to dwell on it. And then let go of any thoughts about the future and what might happen after class. Any anxiety related to it. Just let that go. That will happen. That will unfold in its own time. However much worrying is not going to help you in the future. And bring your attention to the present moment, to what's happening right here, right now in this moment. So you might pay attention to any sounds around you. And it sounds like my neighbors are having a little bit of a party next door at this time in the morning. Whatever, just allowing the sounds without any judgment. Noticing any sounds close to you, any further away from you. And then bringing your attention to your breath. So you're slowing the breath down, breathing through your nose. Deep inhales and exhales, but slowing the breath down. Filling your lungs completely, filling your belly, moving your diaphragm up and down as well as your chest. So you can play with this by taking your right hand and placing it on your belly, left hand placing it on your chest. And you can move your hands with your breath. So you're not actually actively moving your hands. They just move as your chest rises and as your belly expands with the inhale. And exhaling, you just feel the hands fall as you let the breath go. So finding some control over your present moment, finding your peace, finding your tranquility. Taking a few more deep breaths in and out. And just notice your mind might be active. It might be very chatty this morning. That's okay. Just notice what you're thinking. But imagine your thoughts are like clouds in the sky. And they just move along. So you don't attach to those thoughts. You just notice them and then let them disappear and pass. So just taking a couple of breaths, more like that. So just notice how you feel physically and mentally without any judgment. Releasing your hands to the sides. And you're going to bring your legs up as though they're up the wall. So you're just bringing your feet up to the sky. You may find you need to bend your knees so that you can protect your lower back, or you can have them straight. Your choice, just listening to your body, remembering everybody's different. And we're all at different stages and in different places. So just listening to where your body needs you to be. So breathing here. And then you're going to inhale through the nose. So we're breathing through the nose for the rest of the class, unless I give you instruction otherwise. You're going to reach your fingertips up towards your toes. Deep breaths here, really feeling in the belly. So we're working the belly here. Notice when you might reach your edge or where you find that it's challenging. And see if you can find something sweet about this. It's not always easy. And you're going to reach the legs out to the sides and reach through the legs. Fingertips coming through and breathing. So this is a challenging way to start class. So just breathing, noticing the difficulty. Taking another couple of breaths. Legs coming back, fingertips coming up again. And then the knees are going to come into the chest, giving yourself a really nice hug, squeezing your legs in, however that might look. Excellent. And then the feet can come down, so they're just the tops of your fingertips might just raise the back of the heels, pressing the shoulders down into the ground here. And then you've got your palms facing down on the ground. We're going to inhale, lifting up through the hips here. So you're going to lengthen through the front body, lifting up through the hips, and then slowly coming on down. Really one vertebrae at a time. So we're going to switch this up a bit. Inhaling, lifting the arms as we lift the hips, reaching up and over. And exhaling, the arms are slowly going to come down as the hips come down. So just working with your breath, inhaling, lifting, getting length through the back. Exhaling, finding your way back down. 3 more like that. Really using your nostrils and your breath through your nose to help you guide the movement. Excellent. Finishing up. Wonderful. So you're going to bring your legs up again to the sky. And this is where you might grab onto your strap or equivalent. So again, you can use a strap if you have one, or you can just use a sweatshirt or something. We're going to wrap the strap around that right foot, and the left leg is going to hover off the ground. So anything that you want to wrap around is fine. And breathing here. Maybe you also lift your shoulders, your head. And breathe. Again, keeping your mind in the present moment, letting go of anything that's in the past, letting go of anything that might happen in the future, just being here, noticing the sensations in your body, pleasant or unpleasant. And slowly releasing that left leg, releasing your head and shoulders here. We're going to take this foot and we're going to bring it out to the right side. So the left hand can come and press on the left hip here. And then we're going to open up this hip by just moving that leg almost over to the side here. You can always close your eyes in any of these poses and go more deeply inward. So you're going to breathe deeply through your nose in this pose. Now, the reason we put the left hand on that left hip is to remind ourselves to keep that left hip pressing into the ground. The tendency is that we might lift it up in this pose. So you're trying to keep your hips even and breathe. Inhale, bringing that leg back up to center. And you're going to switch the hold of the strap or whatever you're holding onto, grabbing onto it. You're going to bring your right arm out to the side so it's perpendicular to your body. And then you're going to move the strap over to the left side. So you're coming into a spinal twist. And the leg can come anywhere. It doesn't have to come all the way to the ground, wherever it gets to. Keeping your right shoulder pressing down into the ground. And again, you can close your eyes here if you'd like. Finding that breath, slow breathing. If it helps, you can even count how long it takes you to inhale. It doesn't matter what that number is. And then match the length of the inhale with the exhale. So counting the same number as you exhale. You can look over the right fingertips if it feels good. Breathing here. Really long, so slow breaths, filling your lungs so completely before you exhale completely. Inhale, leg comes up. You can bring the left one to meet it. So that up against the, as though they're up against the wall again, pressing the lower back down into the mat. And then you can release through that right leg, letting that leg hover off the ground. You can even lift your head and shoulders up if you'd like. Breathing here. Notice where you feel the sensations, where you feel the challenge. The right leg drops to the ground. Shoulders and head drop to the ground. Right hand on that right hip, pressing it down. And then opening that left leg out to the side, but keeping those hips even. And breathe. Lifting the leg back on up, switching the grasp of the hands, the left arm coming perpendicular out towards the left side, and then pressing that left shoulder down as you move the leg across the body, over to the side, maybe looking over the left fingertips and closing your eyes. Deep breaths. It's hard to breathe in a twist. See if you can do it to the best of your ability. Deep inhale, deep exhale. Leg comes back up. The right can meet it for a moment, pressing your lower back down into the mat. And then you can release the strap, placing the strap to one side. We might need it later. Giving yourself a really unconditional hug here. A squeeze. And then we're going to lengthen out. So the legs are still hovering. You can bring the arms up overhead. Breathing here for a moment. Noticing the challenge, maybe pressing the lower back into the ground. And then we're going to drop everything here and rolling onto the belly. So you're just going to turn onto the belly here. You can bring your thumbs and hands together, interlacing fingers, just keeping your index fingers up to in front of you. You can place your forehead down on the ground. So maybe lifting the legs and the thighs off the ground, keeping the arms and forehead down for the moment. The heels are zipped together, they're coming together. Inhale, now you can lift up your arms and your chest and breathe. And release. The forehead can come down, or you can bring your left cheek towards the ground, twisting your head a little bit. And just pausing here for a moment. The heels can just fall out to the sides. And then you're coming back to center. The fingertips are going to be tented. So just the tips of the fingers are touching the ground. The elbows are out to the side. And we're inhaling, lifting up here. So finding that chest opener here. Feet are pressing down into the ground. You can bring your heels towards each other here. And maybe finding a little bit of movement here from side to side. Maybe looking over the right shoulder. Coming back to center and looking over the left shoulder. Coming back to center. And slowly coming down. The right cheek coming down to the ground. Arms can just relax next to your body. Coming back to center, you can interlace the fingers behind your back, pressing back and up. Maybe lifting the legs as well. Finding length through your body, opening in the chest. And then we're releasing through the legs. We're going to bring the arms up, the forearms down onto the ground, coming into a forearm chest opener here, Sphinx pose. If you want to, you can lengthen through the arms if it feels okay on your back. Opening here, but really listening to your body. We don't want to push ourselves 100%, so just left, finding what works for you. Breathing here. Elbows are going to come down to the ground, tucking the toes here. We're going to lift up into plank pose. So if this is too much, you can always put knees down here, but we're going to press the heels back if your knees are lifted. You don't want to sink in your hips. You're trying to lift your hips a little bit. And breathe, taking a couple of breaths. Right leg can lift a little bit here. Placing it down, the left leg can lift a little bit here. Placing it down, knees coming down, they can spread apart a little bit. Pressing yourself back, child's pose here. Forehead towards the ground, lengthening through the back. Taking a few breaths. Slowly coming up. We're coming into a tabletop here, pressing the tops of the feet down on the ground. So they're pressing down. We're going to lift up through the knees here. So working a little bit more with the core. Maybe, and just going with what works for you, lifting that right leg, pressing it back behind you with the other knee lifted. Bending through that foot, or that knee rather, pressing the foot up. Lengthening here again with the leg, bringing the knee in towards the nose. Kicking it back one more time and bringing the knees down. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, rounding here. Inhale, looking up. Cow. And exhale, coming into cat, rounding. One more time. Inhale here. Exhale, rounding here. And we'll work the other side, pressing the feet down, the tops of the feet, lifting through the knees. Taking a couple of breaths. Lengthening that left leg back behind you. Bending through that knee. Maybe lengthening again. Exhale, knee in towards the nose. Lengthen one more time. And knees are going to come back down. Inhaling, looking up. Exhale, rounding. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, rounding here. We're going to come into some lion's breath. I'm really into it at the moment. It's so good for getting rid of all those things that don't serve us anymore. So we're going to turn the hands so the fingers are coming in towards your knees. We're going to inhale through the nose and exhale out through the mouth, sticking the tongue out as we exhale, making any noise that we want. And we can, and we're going to keep the focus at the third eye center between the eyebrows. So it's sort of like you're a little bit going a little bit cross-eyed, doing what you can. It doesn't matter if it's not the full expression. Inhaling here through the nose. Exhale. Inhale through the nose. Exhale. Letting go of what doesn't serve you anymore. Inhale here. Exhaling. Wonderful. Nice release. Hands come forward again. Right leg pressing behind you one more time. We can take a moment bringing the left arm out in front, finding length from heel to fingertips. Deep inhales. Deep exhales. Tractioning out the back, finding that length. Exhale, knee coming in towards the elbow, rounding a little bit through the back. Inhale, reaching out. Exhale, knee into the elbow. Last time, reaching here. And exhaling, bringing it in. The hand is going to come down, stepping that foot between the hands here. You might need to give it a little bit of a help. That's all right. Pressing the hips forward here. Inhale, reaching the arms all the way up. Maybe the hands touch, maybe interlacing fingers, just keeping that those index fingers up, reaching up to the sky. And maybe bringing the arms back behind the ears or in that direction a little bit. So you're finding a little bit of a back bend here. Breathing, but protecting your back, only going as far as makes sense for you. Taking a breath. Hands are going to come to heart center. Inhaling here, you're going to take then the hand to the outside of that knee. Left hand to outside of the knee. Right arm is going to move back as you exhale, looking over the fingertips of that right hand. Taking a deep breath here. And then we're going to bring the hand down on that back of that thigh. Left arm is going to reach up and back, so it's a little bit of a twist, a little bit of a chest opener. Lovely. And then the other arm reaches up. Inhale. Exhale, hands to heart center. Hands are going to come either side to the front leg. We're going to move that leg back, lengthening through this thigh. So you might find that you need blocks here or books or something to help you. If you don't have that, you can just bring the arms back, leaning forward over that leg. Or you might find you've got space if you put your hands on the ground and you exhale, bringing your body down, your torso down to your legs, whatever works for you. That right hip is moving back a little bit. Left is coming forward. Saying hi to your hamstrings, breathing here, or at least your right hamstring. Deep breaths. That left hand can come down anywhere on that leg or onto the outside edge of the foot, and you're coming into a twist. So however that looks for you, finding your breath. And part of yoga is about not really bothering what anyone else is doing or how it looks or how your body is different. We're all going to be different. So just concentrating on what's going on for you and breathing, and your body is amazing wherever it's at. Inhaling, arms can reach forward and back. Inhaling one more time, coming up, and exhale, rebending through that knee and bringing hands to heart center. The hands are going to come on the inside of this foot. You can bring your arms down any amount here. So you can bring them onto a block as well, or books if you need to. Just noticing what your body needs. And you can play, you can keep your back knee down, or you can tuck your toes, and you can press your heel back, lifting through the knee. And just notice how that feels. Really pressing the heel back to find that length through the leg. Notice the sensations in your body. Notice where your mind is right now. See if you can bring it back to the present moment. What's going on right now in your body with your breath. That knee can drop for everybody. And we're going to move the foot out to the side, to the left. And we're opening through that front knee and finding ourselves in a pigeon pose. If this doesn't work for you, you can sit down. You can take your right ankle and cross it over your left knee. That's a really good alternative. So you're playing with the same muscles. So if you're in pigeon, you're trying to keep your hips even. So we quite often lean onto one side because it makes it easy for us and we want to compensate for ease. You might find you have to come up a little bit and square those hips. So breathing wherever you are at. You might play with bending through that back foot, that back knee, and breathing. You can take it with your left hand, pulling that leg in. You might need a strap, or maybe you just do it without a strap and you play with that. Or maybe you're just content to be here, finding what works for you. Opening through the chest like a penguin, puffing up your chest, and exhale, finding yourself coming forward here, leaning down into reclined pigeon. Checking in with your jaw, moving your jaw from side to side to release any tension there. Releasing any tension in the shoulders, letting that go. Taking 3 really deep, long, slow breaths here. Through the nose. Maybe closing the eyes. Excellent. When you're done, just slowly coming up Using your hands, putting them down on the ground, tucking the back toes here. Right comes back to meet the left. Now it's your choice here. We can stay here in plank, which is good for most of us or for any of us, or you might like to come down into a downward facing dog. So you can do that with looking up if inversion doesn't work, or stay in plank, or find yourself just briefly in downward facing dog, bending through the knees a lot, finding length through your back. So the most important is length through the back, not length through the knees. And then we're bringing the knees down. So whether we're in plank or down dog, we're just bringing the knees down. And we're going to work the other side. So the left leg comes back behind you. Breathing here. Right arm reaching forward. Taking a couple of deep breaths here. Elbow coming in towards knee and reaching out. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, reach. One last time. Exhale, drawing them in and reaching out. That hand comes down. We're going to exhale, bringing knee in towards the nose, stepping the foot forward, pressing the hips forward, reaching the arms all the way up. Again, the hands can touch at the top, interlacing the fingers except for the index, pressing the index high up, and maybe pulling the arms back behind the ears towards the back foot. Taking a couple of breaths here. Inhale here. Exhale, the right hand coming on the outside of that knee. And exhale, looking around, twisting here, looking over the thumb, the fingertips. That hand just comes down the back of that thigh. Right arm comes up. And you've got openness through the chest, a little bit of a twist here too. And inhale, arm comes up, exhaling, hands coming to heart center. We're going to bring the hands either side of that front foot, and we're moving that leg back. So this is working on the left hamstring here. Left hip moves back, right hip comes forward. And you can have your fingers on the ground and come down with the torso, or you can bring your arms back, leaning forward, breathing here. Notice what happens when you stay in a pose for a little bit. What happens to your mind? Does it go to the past? Does it go to the future? Can you stay in the present, whether it's sweet or not sweet? Breathe. And then bringing the knee, the front knee bent again. We're going to bring the hands on the inside of the foot. You can bring your arms down onto a block, onto books, or stay up. It's also a good choice. Taking a couple of breaths here, maybe tucking the back toes, maybe lengthening through that knee and pressing that heel back. Few deep breaths. Knee comes down for everybody, calming on up, moving that foot over to the right side and opening through the hip. Remembering you can always come up to figure of four if you need to. So it doesn't matter where this front leg is. It might be, you might need to bring your heel closer into your groin, just listening to where your body needs to be. Either way, you're trying to keep your hips even. And maybe you can work bending through that back leg. Maybe you can grab it with a strap with your hand, bringing that leg in towards you. It may get there, it may not. Maybe you're just hanging out here. Maybe you just keep your legs straight. Your choice, playing here. And then releasing it, coming back to the front, lowering down here. You can move your jaw from side to side. Moving the shoulders away from the ears and taking 3 really deep breaths through the nose. Slowly unraveling from this pose. The fingertips come down, the hands come down, tucking the back toes. Calming here into a plank pose. So this is good to stay in if you don't want to go into an inversion, or otherwise you can bend your knees, lengthen through the back. You can straighten your legs any amount, so long as you maintain that length through your back. So I suggest for many of us bending through the knees and sticking with that bent knee situation, protecting the back here. And then the knees can come down, the butt can come down to the heels, lengthening here in child's pose. Taking a deep breath. And another one. And gently, we're going to roll on up, coming up. We're going to come up into a standing pose here. So standing on your mat, feet hips distance apart, you're going to interlace fingers again, keeping the index fingers up, reaching up to the sky. Inhaling here and exhale, we're just leaning over to the left side. Inhale, calming through center. And we're going to exhale over the other direction. Calming back to center. Exhaling, hands to heart center. This is a good time to grab onto your strap again. So we're going to play here, or your alternative to a strap. Keeping your left foot grounded, so you're really pressing, that's your anchor. And the right foot is lifted. If you've got flexibility, you can just use your hand instead of needing a strap. Just playing with what works for you. So most of us, we're going to have a strap or something else around that leg. Just breathing. You can always use a wall if you need a bit of stability. Taking a couple of breaths. And then we're going to take the left arm out to the side and reaching the right leg over to the left. Now it takes a lot of balance, it's hard work, it's challenging. So finding patience and kindness to yourself if it doesn't work or you're finding wobbliness. Just breathing, keep trying, don't give up. Breathing here. Finding a little bit of humor maybe. Inhale, calming back through center. We're switching the cross of the arms, so we're essentially doing what we did lying down. And we're moving that leg across the body, and the right arm is reaching out behind us. So if you want to, your gaze can turn to the fingertips at the back. That's really hard. So breathing here, just doing the best you can. Calming back through center and releasing. Palms can come face out. You can close your eyes. Tadasana, mountain pose, a really solid pose that you can depend on. Closing your eyes, taking a deep breath in through the nose, exhaling mouth, ha. Inhale nose, exhaling mouth, ha. One more time, inhale nose, exhale mouth, and gently opening your eyes. We'll work on the other side. So you're going to use your right leg, which one I'm doing. So I'm pretty sure it's your right leg is your anchor, left leg is coming out. Breathing in. You have to find a bit of humor in life. Breathe. And then moving that leg over to the left, maybe bringing that right arm out. Finding openness here. And you might find your leg is lower, you might find your leg is higher, just working with wherever you're at. Bringing that leg through center, crossing it over the body. Arm is going to come out, maybe looking back over the fingertips, maybe not. It's all good. Breathing. And release. Letting go of the strap. You can bring the feet hips distance apart, palms facing forward, closing the eyes. Inhale through the nose. Exhaling mouth. Inhale nose. Exhale mouth. One more time. Inhale nose. Exhaling mouth. Gently opening your eyes. Hands coming to heart center for the moment. Feet coming towards each other. Reaching the arms up. We're going to sit down into a chair pose here. So the knees and the ankles are together, if that works for you. If they're apart, then everything stays parallel to each other. So just listening to your body. Sitting down, you're trying to move your weight back into your heels. So you're leaning back a bit, lifting through the toes, lengthening through the toes here. Hands can come together into the heart center. Sitting down just a bit more. Inhaling here, exhaling, swiveling to the right so that left elbow is just hooking over the right leg, and you're twisting here. Pressing hands together to really help you twist your torso. Inhale through center, sitting down just a bit more, bringing the weight back into your heels a bit more. Inhaling here and exhaling, twisting the other direction. Pressing hands together, finding that twist. Inhale, palming back through center and reaching the arms up and touching at the top. Exhale, hands to heart center. Closing the eyes for a moment, slowing the breath down. So we're going to come back down to the ground, bringing your feet onto the ground, legs in front. We're going to come into boat pose, Navasana. So you're going to lift through the legs. You might find that you're straight in your legs, but the most important thing here is to find length through your back. So you might just lift one leg or the other in order to keep that back straight. Or you might play with lifting one, lengthening the other, or both. Breathing here. Inhaling center. Exhaling, the arms are going to come to one side. Inhaling center. Exhaling over to the other. Center here. Exhaling. Inhaling through center. Exhaling over to the other side. So coming up one more time, making sure that back is really straight and lengthening down without quite getting there. Inhaling, lifting. So we're doing a bit more core work. We're nearly done. We're going to be at the palm part again soon. Lifting back up. And then last time, lengthening and finding that sweet spot here where we just relax everything down. Really feeling the ground here and how good that feels, our connection with the ground. You can bring the right foot up into half happy baby, if you like, bending the other leg. You need to keep your back, lower back protected. So your knee is coming down towards the right side of your body here, grabbing onto the outside edge of your foot if it feels okay, or onto the ankle or thigh or shin, whatever works for you. Breathing here, you can maybe find movement from side to side, just rocking a little bit here. And then you can switch sides. So the other side, so you can see my knee is coming down to the left, the side next to my left ribs, and the foot is trying to press up to the sky. So I may need to just hold onto my shin if I can't quite reach the outside edge of my foot. And breathe. Again, you can move from side to side a little bit here. And then we're going to bring the knees in towards the chest, giving yourself a really nice unconditional hug, recognizing the challenges of life and having your back. And then you're going to move your knees over to the left side. Your right arm can come out to the right side, pressing that right shoulder down. You can look over the right arm if it feels good. And you can close your eyes here if you like. Going a little bit more inwardly, slowing the breath down. Calming back through center, giving yourself a really nice squeeze here. And rolling the knees over to the right side. Left arm can come out perpendicular from your body. You can look over the left fingertips if it feels good, or if your neck is a little bit more quirky, you can look up to the ceiling. And then close your eyes here while you take 3 deep, long breaths. Coming back through center, another squeeze here, and then you're going to stretch the legs out, so about mat's width distance apart. Toes can just fall out to the sides. Your arms are coming out about 30 degrees from your body, palms face up. And then just close your eyes here. So you can let go now of any form of control. You can stop controlling your breath. And offer yourself this gift of just letting go. There's nothing you need to do here at all except just be. And sometimes this is one of the hardest poses out there because we're not used to just being and stopping and pausing. So give yourself this gift of surrendering, of letting go. You can scan your body from the top of your head to your toes and just check that there's no additional tension there. If there is, seeing if there's a way to soften into any areas of tension that remain. And then let go. Eyes can close gently if it feels good. Just settle in. Finding a little bit of movement in your body. Maybe wriggling fingers or toes. Maybe circling wrists or ankles. You can reach your arms up overhead, finding length from toes to fingertips. And giving yourself a final hug of the clasp, bringing knees in towards you. And rolling onto your right side, you can use your right arm as a pillow if that feels good. Feeling the ground there beneath you, there to support you. And with your eyes closed, you can gently press yourself up to a seated pose. However that feels good. You can have your legs crossed, you can have lotus legs, or you can be kneeling here. Bringing your palms face up, thumbs and index fingers touching. And have your eyes gently closed if it feels good to you. So we're going to end the class with some square breathing. We're going to inhale through the nose for the count of 4. We'll hold the breath in for the count of 4. Exhale for the count of 4. And hold the breath out for the count of 4. I will talk you through it. If you get lost or you don't enjoy it, create your own breath. Otherwise, we'll work together. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're just going to let go of the hold, breathing through the nose. And just notice how you feel, how your body feels, how your mind feels, maybe how you feel emotionally. And no judgment, it doesn't matter how you're feeling. I mean, of course it matters, but it's just observing and getting connected with your body that counts. Bringing the hands to heart center here. Inhale, we're going to reach the arms out to the sides and all the way up so they touch at the top. And exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reaching out and up. Exhaling, hands to heart center. Last time, inhaling, reaching out and up, gathering some positive energy here and bringing it down as we exhale towards the heart center. Pausing here, seeing if you can notice some sweet spots about life, just like the strawberry that we talked about at the beginning of class, even when things are challenging. And finding some gratitude for yourself, for taking the time for your body and for your mind today. And then bringing the hands up to the third eye center between the eyebrows Such a pleasure guiding you all for your practice. Thank you so much, and namaste.